Okay, this is Dan Reel, and I'm talking with
Andre Harper, author of Political Emancipation.
Okay, why don't you tell me a little bit about, first, your background real quick.
My background is I was raised in West Palm Beach, Florida. My mom was 16 when I was born. Lived on Section 8 most of my life. Lived in the project for a year. My mom was a single parent. After high school, I served 3 years on active duty in the military, in the Army. Worked for a year as a fast food manager. Got my college degree from Florida A&M University. Last 6 years, I've been working as a representative for a United States Senator. And now I've started my own publishing company.
And the senator?
Senator George Voinovich of Ohio.
Okay. And you said you had some time working with the Gore campaign?
Well, what happened, my book is about my story and my reflections as an African American who was born a Democrat, like many black people.
Okay, maybe if you would just encapsulate that.
Okay. Well, what happened was I hated Republicans because I wasn't trained to do so. I was working on the Al Gore campaign, and I realized firsthand just how Democrats exploit African Americans. And
can you think of one example, just that you without naming names or pointing fingers?
Well, what I noticed was that Democrats, when they got in front of Jews, they talked policies. When they got in front of Hispanics, they talked policies. When they got in front of anybody else, they talked policies. But when they came in front of me and people who looked like me, it was about racism, anger. They don't want you to have anything. Just a bunch of rhetorical garbage. And I felt insulted intellectually and as a person and as a citizen.
Did you come away feeling, I mean, in some ways, I'll just give you my own perspective, is that certain things that the Democrat Party today advocates, it's my impression that they hold black people down more than they elevate them. And I don't know what your perspective is.
Well, you think the Democratic Party gets 95% of black votes, which is pretty much the entire market share, by doing nothing to detrimental things to this group. Yet the group continues to support them. Why would they change course? What does the Democratic Party have if more blacks become like me, self-sufficient, and reject government and look for opportunity instead of a handout? The Democratic Party will be shut down. See, the Democratic Party needs an underclass. Unfortunately, it happens to be many black people and other people of color in order to prop themselves up. Because it's twofold. One, you have a loyal voting base, and two, you tell the people who feel sorry for them that, you want to help these people, you want to help the poor, then vote for me. So you pull at the heartstrings, and then you keep a group down, and then it's a cycle that perpetuates itself.
How do you see yourself in that role in terms of breaking it, or what should be done to break it? Let's put it that way, if we agree that that's the case.
Well, what I do is live my life as I see fit, and that's the beauty of this country. It's freedom, opportunity, the pursuit of happiness. Now, people start to see what I'm doing and say, well, that guy looks happy. I consider myself a free man. I love reading Booker T. Washington, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. Those are the people who inspired me. And so I continue to live my life, and people are beginning to maybe be inspired by me, and then I share the message. And so it's a brick. You got to take this house down brick by brick. The Democrats have built this house for generations. We're not going to knock it down with one wrecking ball.
What kind of a path? I mean, you're an author now with I Choose Liberty. Which I'll link when I post this. Now, what path do you've written? You've been in politics? Are you looking down the road in terms of becoming actually involved in politics? Maybe running in a district somewhere or state?
Well, I ran for a city council in the city of Cincinnati, which is a pretty major race. Right. And so I said I'd never do that again. I will never say never. But I found myself being as a voice for the conservative movement, for belief in democracy, belief in our republic and freedom, as maybe that's my talent that I'm going to lend. Maybe
how are you, if you're talking here you're at CPAC, and we can look at that any way we want, but how are you going to reach the black audience that maybe that some of us would feel needs to be reached? Do you have a way of that, or just the microphone?
Well, I haven't. I've continue to. I've always put in work in the community. I've been a mentor for a long time. I've raised more money to put black boys in college than probably most black people, and I spend a lot of time each month mentoring.
Tell me something, if I could. Is the Republican Party doing enough or have they just given up the ground to the Democrats and walked away? And all candor here. I mean, I don't want you to get in trouble. My feeling is that they've abandoned it, or in some cases have almost become Democrats in those areas if they exist. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
Well, I won't. That's debatable. I don't feel the Republican Party is intentionally abandoned African Americans. I just think that more, they don't feel like maybe we can't put too many resources into something that may not pay too many dividends.
So do you think though that I'll tell you my opinion since I'm a blogger, that they need to be thinking about a longer term investment, that you're not going to change. Those votes may not come this year, but when are they going to come? And if they don't come, Well,
I think the party needs to find out why black people have come to the party, people like me. And I didn't join the Republican Party or get active in the movement because I wanted something. All I want was freedom, low taxes, and for the government to get out of my way.
Right.
And I think that appeals to most black people, to many people, no matter the color. And I tell kids, I do a lot of speaking to kids. I said, what would you rather have? Would you rather have free lunch for free the rest of your life and you don't have to do nothing, or would you rather work and that way you can go to Cheesecake, that way you can go to McDonald's or Applebee's or wherever else you want to go? And they said, well, I would rather work because nobody likes school lunch. And school lunch is a microcosm of what the quality of anything the government gives you.
That kind of sums up liberalism pretty well. Nobody likes school lunch.
Nobody likes school lunch. So we got to.
Just to wrap up your book, I just want you to name it. I want you to just a little bit about it. Make sure I get some info in there for you.
Well, my book, like I said, is called Political Emancipation: Observations of a Black Man Who Rejected Liberal Indoctrination. Okay. And this book is to empower conservatives, to let them know that we can't concede the race issue. Conservatives need to meet the liberal legacy and history of hypocrisy and lies with fact and truth, and cite that here's a black man who survived liberalism. Because liberalism is designed, like we mentioned earlier, to keep people down. Unfortunately, it just happened to be people of color. And I want to be, they can say, well, you're a token. Well, call me whatever you want. But the fact is, I'm a free man. And if you want to be free, then look to God, lean on God, and not Saint Obama.
Right.
Look to God and not Saint Pelosi.
Do you feel faith was a large part of your...
Absolutely. I trust God over the government any day of the week.
Right.
And I want people, and conservatives need to realize that believing in the Constitution, believing in liberty, and believing that any kid has the opportunity to make it in this country doesn't make you a racist. But telling the kid you're socially, economically disadvantaged, telling you came from a broken home and you can't make it, that's racist. And that's the liberalism. And I want people to realize who liberals really are. They're not the people who they say they are. These are malicious people who are intent on power and controlling all aspects of our lives.
People to choose liberty.
Choose liberty.
Thank you for talking.
You got it. Thank you.
Good luck. Good.